doesn't kill you, make you more resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle.
Happy Sunday, community. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Did y'all miss me? Because I missed y'all. It feels like it's been forever since we had a conversation. So guess what? We're going to celebrate that I'm here, you're here, we're alive, we are breathing, and we are ascending. I hope y'all been ascending. Because let me tell y'all, baby. I say this all the time, that it's hard. Life is hard. Life be lifing. Life shows up, and when it shows up, it don't have an agenda. It don't even have an appointment. And then when it comes, it shocks us. It worries us. It brings heartache, disappointment. Why do we do this? Because we can handle it. Because you're strong enough to take it. You're strong enough to get through it. And you like, okay, here she go. Here comes this ascending girl again. She always wants us to keep ascending. Yes, because I believe that you can get through it. I can get through it. But what I really believe is that when we come together, when we're in community, when you're watching this platform, when you're trying to figure it out, there's a support system out there, y'all. There's a support system. And let's talk about the support system. The support system is that life is only showing up for me. Nope. Guess what, y'all? It's happening for everybody. Black, brown, green, yellow, it don't matter what color you are. It don't matter what you're going through. Life be life and life be showing up. And so when you feel like you want to turn out all the lights and be in the dark, when you want to just get in that underneath the covers and don't want to come out, when you want to put your phone on airplane mode because you don't want to deal with life, just know that you're not alone, that you're not doing it by yourself. Okay. Y'all like, dang, she went in heavy. Welcome to Believe Radio. I'm Toni Rochelle. This is Ascending with Toni Rochelle. Thank you to everyone that's been supporting this platform. Thank you to everyone that's told somebody else about this platform. Thank you to all the guests who have come on before the new guests have come on and all the other guests that have been on. Like, just thank you. It means everything to me to have support on this platform. I've been going in community a lot lately, and you don't never know who's like watching you. You don't never know who you inspire or who you give inspiration to. And I just want people to like, don't look at the hype on social media. Because people come up to me in the community all the time and they start talking to me and they be running back my business to me that I didn't already told y'all. So I know that's how they be paying attention. But these same people, they don't leave a comment. They don't even like my post. They don't do none of that. And that's fine. Because that's not what it's for. I'm not there to get 1,000 likes and see who's watching and who's not watching. Because the main thing is that this platform is created. It is created for me, but it's also created for you. And I want you to use this platform for healing, for community. You know, when you feel alone, when you feel by yourself, when you feel like the world is just beating you up, when you feel like life is just defeating you, when you feel like life is just unfair, and you want to hear some real storytelling, some real life truth stories, come to this platform and you won't feel alone because life is life for everybody. So thank you for taking some time out of your day to come and sit with us and hear the conversation, the real conversation, the authentic conversations with little old Toni Rochelle right here on Believe Radio. So anyway, with that being said, y'all know I be having some guests come up in here and they be saying yes to me. And I don't know why they be saying yes to me, but I be thanking y'all that y'all say yes to me to let me get in y'all business. We gonna keep it going, y'all. We got some more nosiness to do. In a good way, though, in a good way. So I got a beautiful lady in my studio. I had the pleasure of meeting her probably almost about a month ago. And me and her, we were just sitting next together just laughing. Y'all know I'm goofy. For the ones that know me, y'all know I am a talker. I'm goofy, and I love people. And me and her energy, we just sat there. We looked at each other. We was looking cute in our little workout outfits. And we were on set. That's what we're doing. You know, we were acting, and we had a chance to just laugh and talk and just be in community. And now I have the pleasure of her sitting right here next to me. And she's going to kill me because I cannot pronounce her name. Her mother, give a shout out to her mom for the beautiful name, but I can't pronounce it. So I'm not going to introduce it and mess it up. So I'm just going to bring my guest on the stage and get in her business, and she going to introduce herself, y'all.
My mother would kill me. My name is ChiAurelia. However,
Wait. I already gave them the introduction that it was going to be hard to explain and pronounce. So you're going to have to slow it down again and say your name.
My name is ChiAurelia Spitzer.
Aurelia.
Yes.
It's a beautiful name, and
Thank
I promise
you.
I'm going to thrive to get it
Thank
pronounced
you.
correctly.
Little
And the
by
next
little
time
you
you
will.
see me, you're going to be
Chi is fine. Everybody usually calls me Chi, but my mother actually named me Kayla.
like, wow.
Yes, Kayla in Hebrew means like God, and ChiAurelia means God the Golden One. So as I began to ascend in my own journey of life, I decided I wanted to do something different.
I'm here for it all. Shout out to Mama for the name. How many of y'all know that names are important?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, people spell my name Tony all the time.
Mm.
And then when I travel around the world and I want to get something with my name on it, they never spell it right. So that's why I said I'm going to make sure I thrive to say your name right, because it's important.
I appreciate that, because some people chop it up and keep going.
No, I ain't doing that. No, we ain't doing that. Your name is important and you are important.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes.
Absolutely. I love what you're doing. So how could I not support it? You deserve to be poured into the same way you're pouring into the community.
That's just everything to me. That's like $1 million to me. You know, y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. But with that being said, can I get in your business?
Yes, girl, come on.
Can I get all up in your business?
Come on.
See, this is not the traditional podcast situation and stuff. We like to have a good time and be authentic and get in people's business.
Let's go.
So, when you think about the word ascending, what does that really mean to you?
When I think about the word ascending, I think about being on a plane right before takeoff, because you ascending, and then when you get ready to land, you're descending. So to me, it's about just really elevating from where you are. Because if you're sitting on the taxi, I think that's what it is, the runway, whatever it is, you're on the flat ground, and at some point you're going to ascend into the air, and you're going to take off, and then you're going to be in the clouds, enjoying your flight. And so really, it's just about how can you elevate from where you are.
Yes. I love to always ask people what it means to them, because I know when it was introduced to me, I had never heard the word ascending. But just like you just mentioned, I heard the word descending. So I was like, oh, okay. When people tell you something, you want to get the definition for yourself. So I truly agree with what you're saying, but I also believe that it means a couple of other things too, but we're going to get into that. But when you think about the word ascending and then you put it towards your life, towards the things that you have come across, what you have gone through and endured, such as motherhood.
Yes.
Ooh, child. We can be here all day talking about motherhood.
It's a roller coaster.
But we're going to get into your business.
Okay.
So when you think about ascending and you think about motherhood, how does that apply to you in your life? How have you ascended through motherhood, or how are you ascending through motherhood right now?
Right, because it's an ongoing process. I had my daughter when I was 22. Okay. I was in college. I was in Marshall, Texas, the itty bitty city outside of Shreveport, Louisiana. And country.
I already know.
Gave me goosebumps. You ain't got but one light on the street every so many, feet or miles. So I wouldn't say a child having a child, but I was not mentally prepared for what motherhood, what all it embodied, right? So
I don't think none of us is ever prepared. Right. I don't care how old, age, same thing.
Married or not, you don't know what to expect.
Now, before we keep getting in your business, where are you originally from?
Well, in the words of Too Short, I come from East Oakland.
You know what?
I'm from right down the block. I grew up on 79th and Hillside, a couple of blocks from Eastmont Mall.
Hey, lean over for a second. Let me pop it.
Yes, I'm from East Oakland, but a lot of my family is from Louisiana. So I've spent a lot of time going back and forth between Texas and Louisiana.
I love them roots, honey.
Yeah.
I love them roots. So you had this baby. You was in college. Was this your first year, second year?
So this was actually, I was about to graduate.
Oh, you was about to graduate. Almost a home run.
Almost home run. But
what had happened?
Girl. So a little DV had.
Mm-hmm.
And so being completely honest, it was on both ends.
Yeah.
I was not the nicest person. I was very angry inside. And I took that anger out in different ways. And so because the DV kind of escalated, I was like, I can't stay here. There's no way I can stay in this house if I'm going to stay sane or stay out of jail.
Yeah.
And so, you can't be in a college campus dorm room with a child. So I decided I was going to stay in Louisiana with my brother for a little bit. And I called my mom and I was like, listen, I got to come home.
You got to call that family support.
Right.
Thank you, Lord, you had the opportunity to do that.
Absolutely a blessing. She was like, before you get yourself on that plane, you need to go ahead and apply for some welfare. I was like, yes, ma'am. As long as I can come home, I'm going to do it. Where's the link? What's the packet? What do they need? Where's my social security card? Because it was, to me, it was like that was a better option than being in the turmoil that I was in. And that for me was really, I believe, like started the ascension process because looking at her as a reflection of me, it was like, I can't keep doing this. Because even though she is 8 months, she can pick up on the energy that's being exchanged between me and this person right now.
Absolutely.
So when I got home, I went head first into just like all of the resources that my mom was pushing towards, like, this is where you go to do the application. And when I showed up, they were like, okay, well, you're going to have to get into school or get a job. And so I just really milked all the resources that they had to really try to just better myself. And so the employment and the education was cool, but it's also like, well, who am I as a person?
Oh, there you
go.
Who
am I as a person? It's like I can show up and be a student. I transferred to Holy Names and I was doing that. And then when the summer semester came, I decided I would do work experience. And so from there, just doing case management, that showed me a whole new type of employment side. And so from there, I went into that. But I would really say ascension as a parent probably hit when she was like 4, in terms of me trying to figure out like, who do I want to be as a mom? Like what type of mother do I want to be? What type of things do I want to show her? And so that's when I really started tapping into just like more spirituality and who am I as a spirit being and what is my belief in God? How can I get closer connected with God? Yeah. So yeah, just going within.
That sounds like motherhood.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your mother, if we can. Like, was you raised by just your mother, or two parent household, or single mom?
So I actually was blessed to have both of my parents in the home. And that's what sent me to Wiley College, is because my father graduated from there.
Okay.
But I did have both of my parents in the household. I do feel like I had more of an emotional connection with my father. And so when he passed away at the age of, for me, I was 12. That hit hard. Because it was like, man, this is my partner. Like, this is my dog. I could talk to him about anything. And there was never a feeling of like judgment from him. He would let me rant. He would let me scream, girl. And I'm the baby girl. He had 18 children and I was the last girl.
Woo! Good lunch now, 18.
He was
I know when she was here so I could talk to him about his business.
He had a whole lot of family.
I had to change to fatherhood instead of motherhood.
Yeah, so that, to me, I don't know. Everybody always says, like, I kind of had a special place in his heart because I was the last girl. And so our bond was just, and then also he was a teacher and I went to the school he taught at. So for me to be at the same place that he was during my 7th grade year, and then he passed in the summer of me going from 7th to 8th grade. So it was just a lot of emotions that I felt like I had bottled up. And I think that I know for a fact that came out a lot with the relationship I had, or the lack of relationship I had with my mom, because I didn't feel like I could talk to her about those things that I was experiencing.
Well, how did that tie into you being a mom now? Because now you have this kind of shaky, rocky relationship with your mother, and which is, they do say that the girls go to their dad, that they're dirty girls, and, but at the same time, it's like being a daughter, you need your mama, you want your mama, you rely on your mama, you want to talk to your mama. So how did that transition happen for you? Because now you're a mother and you need your mom.
And so I was open to like, okay, this is our opportunity, especially because now I'm having a girl. So it's like,
Yes.
you know, you being
3 generations.
Right. So I was really hopeful for us to be able to, I guess, bond in that way throughout my pregnancy, or just, you know, her being a nurse and having that background, telling me certain things that I should know. But she wasn't really too happy about me being pregnant. So that started to be some turmoil on top of the fact that we already had this rocky relationship after my father passed. So it was just like a lot of stuff to sit in, and I felt very isolated from her during my pregnancy. I felt very isolated even when I had to come home. She was there, but it was kind of like I gotta hurry up and get my stuff together to get it on my own, because we would bump heads a lot. And so that kind of showed me, like, I had a professor tell me everybody is an example, either an example of what you want to be like or what you don't want to be like. And so for me, it was like the relationship that we have had is not the type of relationship that I want to have with my child. So that's where I learned to become like more affectionate, because I felt like I lacked that from her. I wanted her to hug me or tell me she loved me and those types of things. And so I would always do that with my daughter. You know, just
all those things that you didn't get,
I'm pouring into her. And so even now, sometimes she's cheesy and she's like, you don't have to hug me all the time. I'm like, girl,
I want my love
on you.
Bring me my love. I need my love. And then you got some making up to do, so I need some extra love. Now, you having this epiphany as your life is changing and everything, do you believe, or do you know, or did you even say anything to your mother about how you wanted to set y'all relationship more going forward? Did you ever like say that to your mom?
It never was a planned thing. There were some situations that happened with my daughter and her that made me feel uncomfortable, and I felt like if I have to be the protector for my child, I have to speak up on this. So I was at work one time and I couldn't get these things off my mind, and I took a yellow notepad and I just started going ham, just writing stuff, and I wrote it as a letter, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give this to her. But when I showed up, it didn't really go that way, and I started saying some of the things that was in the letter, but they didn't come out as nicely, and so it turned into a heated conversation. I left, and that was actually like the beginning of me kind of taking some distance from her, and for about a year we didn't speak.
Wow, that's a long time. And with the baby. Now, do you have other sisters? Well, yeah, you have all those sisters and brothers. Was they supportive to you, like any of your sisters at the time?
So my siblings are a lot older than me. I don't want to say that they're not supportive, but at the time we didn't have a relationship as strongly as we do now because of some of the things that transpired as me growing up. I kind of felt like, okay, well, my mama said they don't mess with me, so they don't mess with me. And so I was always hesitant to really give in to the love that they were trying to give me, because I felt like, well, if she said that, then I gotta kind of watch my back. As opposed to just being open to them. And we've had a heart-to-heart, a lot of me and my siblings have, and they're very supportive now of just even like, hey, you know, sis, you and Brooke want to come hang out with me, or you know, things like that. So I'm thankful that I was able to ascend and step out and have my own relationship with them, as opposed to feeling like I can't talk to y'all because of whatever happened in the past.
So, you know, I got to go deeper.
Come on, girl.
You didn't tell me some of your business.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that happened between you and your mom. But how did you learn to be a mom in that process of you and your mother not being together? I mean, I know motherhood it just comes second nature to us women. I don't know how
that nurturing God gave us.
It is. It's definitely that. So what was your process like? You know, being a new mom and then having this relationship with your mom not being close, like how did you get through that?
You know, honestly, isolation. I just I finally was able to get my own place, so I didn't have to be under anybody else's like rules or restrictions, and it was up to me to figure out, well, like, what do I want to do with my time? What do I like? And so we would like go to the park, go to the beach, coloring, and I went into therapy, and that was helpful for me. And then it also helped me to just see my daughter as like her own. Like a lot of us say like, oh, my mother, she's a person on her own. I have to take the title of mother away and just see her for who she is. But I think we have to do the same thing with our daughters or our children in general.
Absolutely.
Just see them as individuals. So a lot of times I'll ask her like, well, what do you want to do? And tailoring the love that I give her to who she is, because she don't like to go to like, you know, festivals or really girly stuff, but she want to go outside and throw a football. So it's like, okay, well, let's get the football and let's do that, because I want to love you in a way that you feel loved, as opposed to just loving you the way that I know how. Sometimes we have to step outside and like find other tools to build our kids up with.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be the traditional way that everybody else does things. You have to do things that's right for you and your household.
Right.
I truly agree with that. Wow, yeah. I like that you said just asked her. Asked her what she likes to do, you know, and then incorporate that into y'all day, y'all life and everything.
Right.
That's how you supposed to be. That's motherhood.
Hey.
So do you when you think of motherhood, like there's people out here that's having single parent, you know, becoming single moms, not because they want to, because they have to, or just, you know, also not having that authentic relationship with their mother and then becoming a mother. If you could tell that woman or that girl, like that's you, that went through that same thing, or that's going through that, like I heard you say, and I love that you said that I hate it when you said isolated. But I know that that's one of the number one things that we do.
Well, I should say solitude, sitting in solitude, because isolation does kind of have like a negative connotation. Like, yeah,
I've been there, so I know what it feels like. But you did all these things, like you cared about your baby. You know, her baby's in the studio, y'all. She's so beautiful.
Shout out to BK in the building.
BK in the house. Love you, mommy. But when you think about, you know, like you seem like you had it together. You know, it seemed like you cared. You seemed like you wanted something different as a mother and as for your mother and for your baby. You know, and you didn't have that strength coming from your mom to be that way. So, 2 questions. Where did that strength come from for you to say, I'm not going to do the same generational curse on my daughter? I need to submit to my mom and tell her how I really feel. Like, where did that strength come from? Because that's like power to me. When you were saying it, you was like, we didn't talk for a year. I isolated. I did this. Like, who told you to do that? Where did you get those gems to take care of yourself like that?
That's a good question.
Because and the reason I get like that is because when we're in these things and when we're giving people and we're telling people what we did, I be wanting to know the very specific details of how you did what you did to get through it. Because that's the key, is getting through it.
Right.
Not getting over it necessarily, but just getting through it.
You got to go through it. I be asking God that. Like, how do you gang me up like this? Because it's like no amount of books. They don't teach you this in college. They definitely not teaching it in public schools. I really feel like God just, when I had that solitude and I was able to just be like, all right, listen, I don't know what I'm doing. Guide me. Like, for real, God, like, guide me. Yeah. And so it got to a point where I was like, just not even listening to music, not watching nothing, because I felt like in the silence is when I'm going to hear what I'm supposed to do or how I'm supposed to move. In terms of having that conversation with my mom, I used to have anxiety, like, real bad. Like, I felt like it was a boulder in my chest every time I would kind of be in her. I appreciate that, but I'm not sorry, because I don't think if I never had that anxiety, I probably would have never known that this is what I need to do.
The breakthrough.
Right.
The breakthrough. Right.
And once I had, writing it kind of gave me less of the boulder. But once I said it, I have never had that type of anxiety ever again, because it was like, okay, this was what was hindering me, keeping all of these things mounted up. It was a pebble, and then it turned into a rock, and then it was that boulder. And so once I was able to say that stuff, and it might not have been the most respectful, but I was able to get it off of my chest, and that's what was really helpful for me, was to release it.
So I heard you say that you basically you didn't keep your feelings tucked anymore.
I didn't hold back.
You started untucking everything layer by layer.
Right.
And on top of it, it sucks that it had to explode or burst out like it did when your intentions was different.
Right.
But don't you believe that, like, the longer we festered all of this, it just grows?
It does.
And if it continues to grow and it don't have nowhere to go, what's it gonna do?
Your mental health will literally turn into your physical health. And so me having like random back aches and stuff like that, it's like, wait a minute. It might sound crazy for somebody to tell you your anxiety is causing you body pain, but that's real. Like, that's real. And I can't, express how much I was just, and we're in a good place now. Like we can kick it. We can kick it. We go hang out. She cooks dinner and we come over and you know, we do the girly stuff together. But it took me being able to really express how I felt in order for me to get through that so that we could get to a better place.
Has your mother ever, like, I don't want to say apologized to you or anything like that, but has she ever acknowledged like how you was feeling during that time, or even just being a mother, period?
No. And I don't fault her for that, because it's like, how can you do something? If I don't teach my daughter how to drive, how do I expect her to know how to drive? You know, if nobody is loving on her and giving her affection, how does she know how to give affection? So it got to a point where it's like, I can't expect her to do something she don't know how to do. You know, if somebody was in nursing all their life, you can't expect them to do IT. So I appreciate what she is capable of doing. I try to love on her how I can, with also being respectful of my own boundaries. So I'm not like, you know, depleting myself. But, you know, it'll be little things like a Mother's Day card or, you know, a birthday card, and it's like, I'm proud of you from mom. And it's like, okay, it didn't say love mom, but it's a start.
It's a start,
you know, and I appreciate it for what it is, because some people don't have that at all.
Wow. So that girl that's right there right now, that's watching this, or maybe that's gonna watch later, that's scared, terrified of motherhood, that didn't come from that background of a good mother, don't have the idea, but she knows she loves that baby and she knows she want to be there for that baby. But she's terrified. All right, maybe you're talking to that mother that has a partner, has all the support in the world, and she's still terrified. You may even be talking to a mother that has no clue of anything. What would you tell that mother?
That everything you need, God has already placed it within you. God, Yahweh, Jehovah, whoever you believe in, higher power, the trees outside, the whistle blowing, the wind, the sun, whoever it is already within you. That's a beautiful thing of our divinity. It's like we have the tools that we need already. So it's really just about figuring out how you can go inside and find the tools that you need for right now. And sometimes that looks like going outside your immediate family and finding community that's supportive of you. Sometimes it's sitting in that solitude and just really like breaking down and having a relationship with God and being like, listen, I know I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back with the jump off and I'm ready to get things going. I need you in my life. I need you to guide me, because I don't know what I'm doing. Just be for real. I saw a meme earlier today, and Kendrick Lamar was like, I talk to God like he my homie. He cussing and everything, because that's my homie. And so it's like, that's really what it comes down to, is like, we have to understand that we don't control everything, and everything is already written out for us. It's just up to us to get to whatever point that is. So really, I believe going within and just being open to receiving, because that's another thing, is people
that's my problem. I'm working on that right now as we speak.
And that's good that you even can acknowledge that, because it takes the self-awareness to know, like, listen, this person really going hard for me, but I ain't even really ready to receive what they giving me. And sometimes it's scary, because it's like, I've never seen anybody be this supportive. So it's like, is this a
what you want from me? What you got to do to me?
Right. You gonna burn me in the end. So it's just really trusting that God is gonna love on you through the people he sends you in your life. You know, you may make a random friend, you may meet somebody at a community event, and that'll be the one person that takes you to your ascension.
It's so true. When I ain't gonna tell y'all nothing I don't know, because it's so true what you said. First of all, did you know that you've been ascending? Did you know that you've been ascending? I mean, like, when you heard the word, and now that you heard the word and thinking about your own life, did you realize you literally have been ascending throughout life?
It took a minute to realize that that's really what it was. Because for me, it was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. But really putting on.
Well, hold on. Where did that narrative come from? This is what you're supposed to do. What does that mean?
Because, like, as a mother, it's like, well, you're supposed to love your child. You're supposed to feed your child. Like, you're supposed to do these things because you're a mom. That's your responsibility. But at the same time, it's like, nobody tells you exactly how to do it.
No,
so you can do the basic things of, like, housing, shelter, food, clothes, and that's it. Or you could go the extra mile and figure out, like, what else can I do to really create this beautiful being into being a beautiful adult later on in life. So I didn't know, I guess, that I was elevating and ascending when I was doing it. It was just like, I don't want my relationship with my mom to be the relationship I have with my daughter. So like, let me figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You've been ascending. Ascending. So what has like been the hardest thing about being a mother?
I would say balancing out just us both being able to be not necessarily ourselves, but like we have very different interests. She's kind of like into the sports and tomboy, and I'm like, let's dance. And she's like, no. So definitely just making time between having a 9-to-5, between trying to have a nonprofit, not trying, but in the process of starting a nonprofit, and then also like wanting to make sure I take time for me, and then also wanting to spend time and do things that she likes. It's
so
like,
you talking about balance?
Can we get some hours in the day? I still got to sleep too, and then I want to take a bath for an hour. Right. So yeah, balance is definitely, I would say, the hardest part of it.
Now, how is her relationship and her grandmother's relationship, your mom?
Sometimes they be talking, and I just be like, "Oh, you talk to grandma today? Great! They gonna go have lunch together tomorrow." And I'm like, "I love that for y'all."
Yeah,
because I really also feel like what my mother possibly could not give to me, I see it being given to my daughter. And at first, it was like, "You ain't do nothing. You ain't do none of that with me." But it's cool because at least it's being done at all.
Exactly. I got my little gel in there, but I'm gonna take it out because it's my baby. So right. Go ahead, then.
Right. Do your thing. So they hang out, they go shopping, they do that kind of stuff. So I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for all three of us. Honestly.
Yeah, that's really what I was gonna say. First of all, it's 3 generations, 3 girls. You don't really see that very often. I actually have that in my family too. Me, my mom, and my daughter, but it's rare that you see a generation like that. And so it's something to like really admire and just be like, this is lit.
Right, right.
We together, we love it on each other. Now moving forward, like when you do have like certain things that's just hard for you to figure out while you're going through motherhood, because it's just not really easy raising a kid. Where do you go and get your advice or your inspiration from? Besides God in every regard, do you have any, like a godmother or a great aunt or someone that's the lady that's been a mother, or just a woman figure in your life that's like mother, like a mother?
So yes, I have a great aunt. I love her dearly, but I also know that we have to be careful where we seek our advice.
That's true.
Because sometimes the source, we have to just be mindful of the source. And so depending on what the situation is, depends on whether I reach out to someone or I try to figure it out myself, or if I look to different mother figures, like, someone that has been through the preteen process. It's different. To me, I don't want to say that their opinion is invaluable, but if your child is like 3 and I'm looking at advice for a 12-year-old, I don't know. Yeah. So I talk to my sisters a lot. Like I said, depending on what it is, I'll talk to my mom. But other than that, I just be like, well, even with the advice that they could possibly give, I gotta take the meat and throw out the bones and see just what is gonna work for me, because I know my child. Yeah. So yeah.
What are you most proud about being a mom? Like when you think about mom, like when you think about yourself and you really reflect, what is the most thing that you're proud of?
The fact that I don't look like I have a 12-year-old. I'm so shocked.
Celebrate.
They're like, you have a what? Just really too, the fact that we have been able to ascend within our own relationship, because I won't act like I'm a perfect mom. I was not always the nicest, because I had to just get rid of that turmoil I was experiencing. So definitely just being able to like see our relationship grow, that makes me so happy, because it's like we know how to kick it, and like I ain't want to get little friends, but we can go hang out. We can go hang out though. And then from there, it's like also knowing how we both are. It's like, okay, right now we need some space, so I'm gonna go to my room. Is it anything you need? Because I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna be gone for like 2 hours. I need a nap, or I need some space to me. And so just being able to know like when we need to pour more into being together or pour more into having our own space so that we can continue to have like just a, you know, cool, calm type of vibe between each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you a single parent right now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah?
Yes.
Or do you want to get married one day and maybe get a stepdad?
Oh, she is very, she is
stepdad.
so
I'm looking at her like, why did you ask that, Miss Toni? Sorry.
She is so team stepdad. Like, she be like,
really?
He looks nice. He has nice shoes.
Not trying to hook mama up, though.
You should talk to him. And I'm like, girl, like, you trying to put me out? Like, I don't know that this dating is scary.
It is.
And so it's like
with kids, when you have kids.
Right. And just even in general, because it's like you don't know what that person's motive is. Are you just trying to hang around and have fun? Do you really want to get to know me? I'm a very complex person. And so I could go from Nipsey Hussle to Mozart to Fred Hammond to like it. There's so many layers to me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do I know if I open up this layer or this can of worms?
Now,
like,
hold on. Have you dated at all in the last 12 years?
In the last 2. Well, no. Okay, so my last relationship was 2 years ago. If you're single, hey, how you doing? But yeah, because it's for me right now. I feel like, well, maybe I should just focus on parenting because I don't have time to try to balance something that could not possibly. Like the last thing I want to do is
that's not a void for you though. It's not a void. Like
no. Mm-mm.
Has it always been like that, or is it just
I practiced celibacy and like abstinence here and there for years at a time, and then so it's like it doesn't bother me. It is sometimes like, dang, I wish somebody would like, you know, go on a date or, you know, somebody hold me. It's cold outside. But at the same time, it's like, at what price does that come with? Because then you got to think about the mental anguish of dealing with somebody who is possibly like weighing you down versus trying to ascend with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, honey. You've been ascending. Okay.
Yeah.
This motherhood, like you said, there's no book. There's no, I mean, even when you talk to your friends and they tell you, this is a good point right here, the childbirth story. If you think about it, every woman has a different childbirth story, right? Everyone. I mean, I haven't never talked to 2 women that have the same exact story. And so I feel like it's the same way with motherhood. Now, do you have friends, a lot of friends that have kids?
I don't.
Are people around you?
I would say that's one of the cups in my life that is kind of lacking right now, is that I had a best friend and she got married. And so that kind of, our relationship ended. And I love her, but we're not friends. And so having friends in general, let alone friends with kids that are her age, like I'm open to that, but it's very rare that I have. And she hangs out my cousins. I lean on my cousins a lot because their children are kind of in the same age range. But yeah, no. And then too, you got to be careful of like, well, what type of parent are they?
See, that was my next question. Why you all up in my head? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have friends and you see that they're mothers too, and it was something that you didn't agree with how they're parenting, and then here it is, you raising your baby, like, what advice would you give that mother? Because it's like, you just trying to figure it out.
We all do.
And we really don't know everything that's good or bad for our children. I'm always second guessing myself. Am I feeding them the right thing? Did I do this right? Should I expose them to this? Should they do this? Like that. And I would like to say I'm a very, very present mother, but I ain't perfect. And them kids is hard to raise. So my question is that, you know, you see if you're around other parents or other children at that, and you're a mother, you hold that title as a mother, how do you, I don't know, shelter her away or, you know, move her from that circumstance or whatever? Like, what was your experience like in something like that?
So there have been situations where it's like, okay, this person is parenting their child in the way that they want to, and that's perfectly fine. but it's for our household. We ain't doing that. And so y'all can be friends within the realm of school, or if that's where y'all know each other, or the after school program, or like whatever community y'all found each other in, that's cool. But in terms of them like wanting to come over and spend the night or hang out, like we can't do that. And I don't know that I trust you to go over there. So that is the boundary of y'all friendship, is that it stays at that place. And and then there have been other friends that she just recently went to an overnight camp, and she's like really having positive interactions with these people. And I'm like, I would love to meet their mother or, their parent or whoever that is, because these are the type of people that I feel like would be good support systems for you. So I feel like as parents, even though it's like a whole nother job, trying to make sure that kids are in good spaces, making sure that we go out and find like what type of activities will get them around other positive people, because then when they're around other positive kids, it's like, okay, I can have positive parent community because I know that these kids are behaving in a way that is like how I would want you to behave as well.
Yeah. What has been the hardest thing about motherhood?
I would say not that it's hard, but just learning how to manage my own emotions, because every emotion is not an emotion that she needs to be exposed to. Like I might go in my closet and cry by myself, but she don't need to know why I'm crying, what's going on, So, but also there are some times where it's like, I need you to understand that what you did was hurtful and we need to talk about it, or, just different things, because at some point she's going to have these emotions herself. So really figuring out how to regulate the emotions that I share versus what I keep to myself, because again, like we're not here to be friends with our kids, but at the same time we have to show them the life that's up against them, is we both go through our own different journeys.
Do you find yourself, as you're mothering, do you find yourself like, oh, my mama used to say that to me,
oh my god,
like or now I understood what my mom was trying to say or trying to do, because it's hard. Yeah. Like, do you have those epiphanies?
I do. I can't remember what it was that I said, but it was something I was like, damn, I sound like my mom. And it probably had something to do with cleaning up the house or trying to get her to understand something. But it's like, okay, I see why my mom was tripping on me. Yeah.
I was laughing because both of my kids they both names start with a T, like mine.
Oh, you got them confused. You get them. You know what?
One of them is a boy and one of them is a girl. So I'm like, you know which one I'm talking to? One of y'all T's. And I remember when I did that. And I was like, dang, I'm getting old. Now I know what they were talking about.
You're not old, we just seasoned.
But you have that epiphany, like, dang, I was wrong.
Right.
She was right and I was wrong. Like, okay, now I see myself doing all the things that I seen when I was growing up, and now that I'm a mother. So
actually, we were at my mom's house this past week, and we got ready to go. And she's like, "Can we stop and get ice cream?" I'm like, "We got ice cream at home." She's like, "Oh, it make you feel good to say that, huh?"
But we ain't got the kind that I want, Mama.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a joy. Motherhood is a joy, but it's a hard job. It's the hardest job that I've ever had to do. But it's very rewarding.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I just sit there and stare at my daughter. I just be like mesmerized, like, wow, you're so beautiful, you're so smart. Like, how do you know how to do that?
Right. I definitely have those moments. What are you looking at? I'm like, because you're just so beautiful.
And it's crazy because I didn't get that from my mom. I didn't get that from nobody coming up. And so sometimes I envy my daughter, not in a bad way like that, but I'm just like, dang, I wonder what that would have felt like if I would have received that as a little girl. Like, would I have picked, would my life have been different? Yes, it would have been. And so I just wonder, like, do you have those same?
Yes. It's literally like watching a flower grow, because it's like you were this seed. Like sometimes it's like the look of mesmerizing, and it's like, you used to be a little baby inside my tummy, and now you're just like this. You're 5'2",
taller than you.
Right? I'm still your mama though, but it's like just seeing her grow into the young lady that she's becoming. It's like, wow. And then to know, like you said, I'm a very present parent.
Yeah.
It's like to know that the things that I'm pouring into you, because sometimes we talk to our kids and we think it's in one ear and out the other, but then they'll say something back to us and it's like, oh, you really was listening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing is not for nothing.
Yeah. Was there anything that when you were growing up that you seen your parents do that you instill in her? Like, is there like any specific things?
Definitely wanting to stay, like, because my father talked to me a lot, I'll make sure that I make time to try to just listen to what she may want to ramble about, whether it's school trauma or outfits she want to plan or birthday ideas. Like, I definitely feel like having somebody to talk to was beneficial for me, so I try to do that. And then too, I encourage her, even though her father and I are not together, I encourage her to be connected with him. They talk, they FaceTime, they do their thing. And so it's like, just because I don't desire to be with him doesn't mean you have to have a neglected relationship with him.
How hard is that for you?
Pray for me. That's all I can do is pray for me, pray for her. It's really taught us to have, I feel like encouraging their relationship has helped our communication, my daughters and I communication, to grow, because that's a learning point for her in terms of protecting her boundaries and knowing how to advocate for herself, how to speak up for herself, just in whatever dynamic their relationship tends to go in. Sometimes she'll share things with me and I'm like, well, this is how you protect your feelings or speak up for yourself. And so I definitely feel like it's a learning experience.
Yeah. I know this is kind of a hard question, but do you think that it's easier raising a girl than a boy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's crazy because I used to want a boy. I was so mad when this sonogram technician told me it was a girl. I was like, are you sure?
I cried.
She was like, I've been doing this 17 years. How dare you disrespect me? And I'm like, well, I'm just saying, I talked to God about this, and I don't think this is the way this was supposed to be going.
Wait a minute. Did you go to Kaiser?
No.
I was like, we had the same doctor, not in play.
Right? I was in a little bitty hospital called Good Shepherd.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in Louisiana. That's right.
Yeah, well, Texas. She's a Texas baby.
Texas.
But because I used to be a girl, because I went through, my adolescence as a young lady, I feel like I can relate to her better. Sometimes she could hit the corner and come into the kitchen and I look at her face and I'm like, what's the matter?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
And she's like, instantly.
Right. She's like, how do you know? And I'm like, because you're me. And I know what I was going through, or like I knew it, just being able, like that hindsight, being able to look back and be like, okay, when this happened to me, this is how I was feeling. And so maybe this is how I need to love on her in this moment, because I remember what that felt like. And so if I had a boy, I don't know that I would be able to really, love on him or understand him the same. Yeah.
That's why I was like, I know it's a tricky question, but it's just like, you got girls, so we got some girl moms out there that's trying to figure out, because I know when I found out I was on the girl, honey, I was mad, because in my mind, my mom, she had one girl, 4 boys. So I was like, I'm having a boy. I already had thought of the boy name and everything else. I wasn't even tripping, but when I found out I was having a girl, I was like, I'm gonna have a daughter. She's gonna be like me. And I'm like, I don't want her to be like me. I want her to be better than me. I don't want her to be nothing like me. So I was afraid. I was afraid to raise a girl because I didn't want her to be nothing like me. But I actually got blessed with a girl and a boy, and they both like me.
God said, watch this.
Watch how I make a girl and a boy that's just like you.
Right.
But actually, they're way better than me. They are so adorable. They are just everything to me.
That's wonderful. And that's a reflection of your parenting.
And this hard thing to do. This hard thing to do. So when it gets hard for you like that, when you just feel like, what is your gems that you use to get yourself back into place? Because like earlier, I remember when you were saying like, you want her to understand, like, you hurt my feelings or what you did was wrong or whatever. But sometimes you just be like, wanting to go there. And you can't say, go to your daddy. Because your daddy ain't in the other room. Because that's how it is in my house. I'm a single mom too. So sometimes I just be like, dang, if your daddy was just here, I could be like, go to your daddy and leave me alone. Not that my kids do that all the time, but sometimes
they test you.
They test you.
Right.
What do you do when that test comes for you?
Sometimes it's literally having to separate myself because I know I can sometimes be vicious with my words.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and I'm
Mhm.
gonna take a walk. I need you to follow me, lock the door, and I'll be back. When I'll be back, I'm taking my key. And so being able to have that reset and knowing too, like what works for me. So like I love water. I might go walk by the water. I love being outside and like the sun hitting my face. So to me, it's like, what can I do to pour into myself if I'm feeling like I'm not like on the Richter scale of where I need to be, you know. I was born 3 days after the Loma Prieta earthquake, which like really messed up the bridge and everything.
I heard about it. I wasn't living here then.
So that for me, it's like, okay, if I'm finna start shaking stuff up, let me just bounce for a minute, or let's both go on a walk, or let's both ride our bikes, or just like do
Have
something
you
in
always
silence.
been that type of person to be able to control your feelings? And
Absolutely.
like, how did you get there?
Definitely the therapy was very helpful, but then also to just like realizing what turmoil, what that temporary moment can do in the long run.
Okay.
You cannot apologize and, you know, expect somebody to not ever feel those things again. So even though you could be apologetic about it, it's like it's already been done. So let me just not do it in the first place. And, you know, we don't even have to worry about trying to mend feelings or wipe tears later.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and my girlfriends was literally at the pool yesterday, and we seen a new mommy, and she had the cutest baby. Oh my gosh, she needs to be the next Gerber baby. She's adorable. And she was walking, so the attention was on the baby. But of course, the mother was there too, and we was like, "Hey, your baby's so cute," and everything like that. And we was like, I think one of us was like, "You don't even look like you had a baby." And she said to us later, she was like, "That made my entire day." She, she explained to us how she was going through her postpartum, and she was, didn't want to tell people about it. She was ashamed of it because she loves her baby, and this, because that's what motherhood do to you. Right. It be having you second guess yourself. It be having you go hard in the paint. I don't even know. Like, I don't want to do it for myself, but for them kids, I'm going to do it. Right. Like, it's that extra strength that you get, that they give you. I don't know what it is. When you become that parent, that mother.
It's like an invisible cape you just get in the delivery room. Even before that. And the thing is that we get to show up how we get to make a choice and show up how we want to be to our little babies, so as a mother. When you think about that decision, when you get that choice, like, what was that thing that said, you know what, I'm a mother now, and this is how I'm going to be, and this is how I'm going to raise my family, this is how I'm going to, like, what did that feel like to you? Because I have girlfriends that was planning they marriages and they families when they was in third grade. Like, I'm going to have to pick a house, and I'm going to have this. I wasn't doing that. I don't never remember saying, oh, I'm going to have this many kids, I'm going to name it this, and I want this, and I never remember having that little fairy tale trying to have a family situation. Right. I think it was like fourth grade. We had to do that assignment. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be a nurse and I'm gonna have 2 kids, and the boy gonna come first so he can be protective of the girl. And like, see, that's what I'm talking about. And then I don't know, I guess it just like faded, because as much as I love her, she wasn't playing. It just, doing what we was doing. We was in college. And so, but also knowing like, this is the bet I made. If I got to lay in it, this is my responsibility. And I told him, I said, whether you want to be a part of this or not, like, I'm finna have this baby. And I hate that it sounds that way, but like, I'm not finna lay on no table and let nobody abort this mission. So get with the program where I can do this by myself. And so for me, it was just like knowing that God chose me to like carry this person through life, at least guide them until they're old enough to figure out what they want to do with their own life. To me, that felt like heavier than any college assignment I've ever had. And so it was like, all right, well, it's time to boss up and like figure out how to complete the assignment. Like, what do I do? And so from there, it was just like little bits and pieces of figuring out the resources of like, okay, how do I get on WIC? And, like, what is the daycare process? And so, I don't know, it just, I guess the light bulb just went off. Like, this is what we doing. Yeah.
We're almost at the end of our show. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to tell people what type of mother you are. And how you like to show up in the world. And also not just that you're a mother, but also just if you have anything going on, anything you want to tell community, any gems that you want to say, whatever it is you want to say, it's your moment.
Okay, well, I've been thinking about the lady at the pool, and what I would say to her is that two things can be true at once. You can experience postpartum and still love that baby. And I think, like you were saying, motherhood makes us feel like certain things have to be a certain way. We can have moments that make us feel down, but we can also still love our kids. I am the type of mother who I just want to keep it real, keep it loving, keep it copacetic, keep it me. I feel like motherhood is not my only title. I was me before she came along. I'm gonna be me when she grown and she doing her own thing. And yeah.
I love the part when you said I'm still gonna be doing me, because I think a lot of mothers, and even the lady I was talking to at the pool, she brought that up too yesterday, how she quit her job, before she had her baby, she was trying to climb the corporate ladder. And then she said even when she got pregnant, she was like, I'm still gonna do it. And then something one day she was just like, nah, it ain't worth it. I'd rather just have as much time with my baby and do this and do that. And that's great too. But what I want to say about motherhood is that don't get lost in it, like you said, because I think that's where bitterness comes from, and not being able to be all the way accountable for that little person that's standing in front of you. Just because you're a mother, don't let people tell you what you can and what you can't do. Just because you're a mother, it doesn't mean that you have to lose yourself completely. You can still look cute. I wore heels the whole time I was pregnant with my daughter.
Come on.
I was pregnant with my son. I don't know that was big. But my point is, whatever it is that you want to do and how you want to show up, it's a choice. Just like it's a choice to be a certain type of mother. I'm the type of mother that I'm all the way up in their business. What are you reading? Who you talking to on the phone? What are you eating? You done already had 4 popsicles. Like, I'm all of that.
Right.
But I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong. But I feel like, because I believe in the Holy Spirit, and I be asking God all the time, help me with your kids. Because I don't know if y'all know, but motherhood is an assignment, because the children don't belong to us.
Right.
They're being borrowed, and we have to raise them and love on them. And then they're not going to be with us forever, like you said.
Right.
So one of the things that stuck with me today is when, your whole dating situation.
Help me out.
I ain't forcing nothing on you. I just want you to find love, and she wants a brother. Okay? She told me.
Wait a minute. Hold on. That's off the table. A stepdaddy I can do.
Your TT got you, BK.
I got her a cat.
Your TT got you, and I don't like cats, so I'm still on her side. I just believe that kids should be raised in a house with 2 children. I do believe that, even though I'm a single mother. But I do believe that there's some phenomenal single mothers, and that kids can definitely thrive and succeed and ascend in a one-home house. But I also believe that mama got to have a life too, like Stella.
Okay.
So I pray that you get some love. If that's what God wants for you, and if that's what you want for your life. And before we go, she didn't cut her hair off, y'all. Last time I seen her, she had dreads, and she didn't come up in here with no hair. So what is the story about that?
We're ascending, baby.
I know.
So I really just, I think it was Wednesday. It was a couple of days ago. And I was just like, it's the halfway point of the year. I've had these locks for about 2 years. I felt like I was reflecting on the things that had happened within the 2 years that I've had the locks, and I was just like, I'm in a different space. And this is also not the first time I've cut my hair off.
Okay.
Sometimes I go to the barbershop and be like, just take it all off.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when I showed up, my barber was like, where you been at?
Yeah. And who are you?
Right. Well, no, he's used to me coming through and just being like, listen, it's time to take it off. So I just felt like as soon as I did it, I cut my locks off, and I just felt lighter. So I have no regrets at all.
I love that.
Thank you.
Y'all, she ascended even with her hair, y'all. Okay, today's guest again, I'm going to have you say your name.
ChiAurelia Spencer.
ChiAurelia Spencer. That's came out. Like I even need yours. Thank you, Ascend community. You can't ascend if you just keep going and you make a choice and you just try it again. Thank you, everybody who tuned in today. Thank you to my guest. Thank you to her baby girl in the building. Shout outs to Believe Radio. Thank you, everyone that's supported this platform. If you have a story and you want to share it with me, hit me up. I would love to have a conversation with you. Until then, keep watching the show. Keep ascending. Tell somebody about this platform. And don't forget to click that like button and share it with somebody.
Come on,
Until
now.
then, y'all, I'm Toni Rochelle. Keep ascending. Oh, before I go, I have a stage play coming up. Y'all know I'll be doing other stuff, acting, modeling, hosting. But this play right here is very, okay, I got it upside down. It is about HIV/AIDS. If you have any youth in your family that's 13 and up, they can come to the show for free. We will not charge them because we know that this is a heavy subject that needs to be put in our community, and it's something that we don't talk about very much. So come support June 28th, 29th on Allison Street. I'll be talking about it before it gets here. So keep on watching, keep on coming, and most of all, keep ascending. Peace, love, and have a blessed day.
Ascending, gotta keep ascending. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gonna keep ascending. Her pain is my pain, her struggle's my struggle.